9/11 that changed the world history, world's politics, and after 2001, this new century, 2000, was mostly the product of 9/11. 9/11, that is a watershed moment in the world history. If we see 9/11 in the backdrop, most of you might have gone, and today we are in 2003, so the last 22 years. If you remember 9/11 attacks, or if you don't remember, but if you imagine what happened on that day, so that was one of the most impactful moments of world history. So we have 9/11, and as you might have heard recently from Israeli authorities, that the attacks of Hamas and Israel are also their 9/11. So as 9/11 changed the world history, so it is possible that Hamas attacks on Israel will also change the history of Middle East. So you are observing history, and history is unfolding itself in your eyes, and you see that the history making with your own eyes. So you have to be investigative, scientific minded, philosophical, to understand that why these things happening, or why 9/11 happened. When we go to 9/11, so before that we have 1979. 1979 is a very important year in the history of the world as well. Please make a comment that before 9/11 we should understand the year of 1979, which is also highly essential. To understand 9/11, we have to understand 1979. 1979 has a direct link with 9/11/2001. So can anybody tell me what happened in 1979? Can you write that 1979 is connected to 9? Yes. So what happened in 1979? Anybody? 1979 में क्या हुआ था? 1979, which caused 9/11. Yes, Rahmanullah, Soviet invasion of Afghanistan. USSR. अच्छा, USSR के साथ आपने हमेशा लिखना है former, FORMER, former. Former or erstwhile, ERSTWHILE, former USSR, क्योंकि अभी USSR मौजूद नहीं है दुनिया में. So you have to write former. Former USSR invaded Afghanistan in 1979. Any other thing happened in 1979? Of global importance. In 1979 also Iranian Islamic Revolution happened. 1979. The Shah of Iran was overthrown, and who took over? Islamist Khomeini. He became the ruler of Iran in 1979. So you have to understand politics of the West. Today I was sitting with the Russian ambassador for 2-3 hours, and we were discussing global history and global politics. So you have to see that the world politics is very interesting. Dr. Najeeb, the president of Afghanistan, a very liberal, modern, educated man, was overthrown in Afghanistan, and who took power? Maulvi Gulbuddin and Rabbani and other Maulvis, Mujahideen. Shah of Iran was also a very modern man, and Iran at that time was economically prosperous. It was a big financial power. People from Pakistan would go to Iran, people of Central Asia and other countries, even Arabs would come to Iran for jobs and for prosperity, because Iran was so much prosperous. But West replaced that modern man with the Khomeini, and West replaced Dr. Najeeb with the Gulbuddin and Rabbani, and then they started fighting with each other in Afghanistan. Until today, Afghanistan is in turmoil, and the West has problems with the Iran as well. Iran is a sanctioned country, and nobody can do legal business with Iran because of the dollars things. So this whole scenario, once we understand, so the policies of the West, sometimes these are counterproductive. What happened to Middle East? What happened to Libya? In Libya today there are two governments, one in Benghazi and the other in Tripoli. Syria is in a big turmoil. Iraq has a lot of problems. Egypt is not that much stable. So we see all these things happen after 1979, and then 9/11 shook the world after the World Trade Towers were blown away by terrorists. And from there, war on terror started. And Bush called Musharraf that whether you are with us or you are not with us. And Musharraf had no other option. So he said, yes, I am with you. And then the first government of Taliban was toppled in Afghanistan. Karzai became the president, and after Karzai, Ashraf Ghani became the president. So United States and NATO, they took power from Taliban, struggled for 20 years, spent trillions of dollars, and gave back the power to Taliban again in Kabul. So this was one episode. What happened in Pakistan after 1979? Religious extremism, sectarianism, proxy wars, Saudi-Iran wars, Soviet Union, former Soviet Union and American wars on Pakistani soil. We lost more than 80,000 people, soldiers, civilians, a lot of billions of dollars of economic loss, Kalashnikov culture, drugs, and Afghan refugees, 3 million Afghan refugees in Pakistan. And today, even today we are struggling for the repatriation of Afghan refugees to Afghanistan. And you see that how Afghans, they played havoc with the economy of Pakistan, they took over Pakistani businesses, and they introduced drugs, Kalashnikovs and weapons. Even they started taking part in political protests against different governments. So we suffered a lot. We spent a lot of money. Though Pakistan is accused by Afghanistan and some countries that we made these terrorist groups, and we got a lot of money from Saudi Arabia and the West for the war on terror. But ultimately, Pakistan had to suffer because playing with the war, with the terror, though it may give you dollars, but that is not a healthy practice. One should get money by international trade, by industrialization, and by other feasible, proper means. Not that you create terror groups and then you get money from the West or USA or other countries. Kashmir cause also became weak because when Mujahideen, they got success in Afghanistan. So some people, they wanted the same experiment in Kashmir, and they sent these Hizbul Mujahideen and other people. What is the name of that? Dawat al-Islam or something like that. Jamaat al-Dawa and Hafiz Saeed and these kind of people. They were then fighting in Kashmir. And then we had to stop those people and we have to imprison them and we have to punish them, because that was not the legal way that you can support Kashmiris for their self-determination. So Kashmir, Afghanistan, war on terror, tribal areas, Waziristan, Swat, frontier areas with Afghanistan, inside the other areas of Pakistan, a lot of repercussions, a lot of consequences, a lot of wrong results of the war on terror. Luckily, Pakistan could control terrorists on its own soil. In Swat, Waziristan, almost they have been crushed, though because of the second government of Taliban in Afghanistan, they are getting more encouragement, and people in Pakistan, some people, even young generation, they consider the success of Taliban in Afghanistan as a role model, and they want that the same government should be made in Pakistan as well. So this is another challenge to Pakistani institutions, Pakistani parliament, democracy, that if Taliban-style government comes into Pakistan, so there will be no parliament, there will be no democracy, there will be no elections, there will be no opposition, there will be no freedom of expression, there will be no girls' education, and Pakistan will become like another Afghanistan. But many people think that this is the best model, and we can judge that whether the war on terror that was a success or that was not a success. So that is up to you. So please read the notes. Both the notes are interrelated. 9/11 and the political events in Pakistan after 9/11. As yesterday we discussed 1971, which was a very important year, Bangladesh, and 9/11 is another important world level event, but it had direct impact on Pakistan. And then Musharraf became so popular initially, and he cooperated with the West in the fight against terror. And though today terrorism does exist in Pakistan, but not in that level, and we have to spend a lot of financial resources and human resources to control the menace of terrorism. If you have any questions, you can ask. Otherwise, this was general introduction to the topic, and think over it, do your brainstorming, how the world evolves, read the notes, conceptual clarity, make your mind clear, rationalism, and then read the notes, which is realism. When you read the notes and you present it to the examiner, so this is called representative realism. ये दो किस्म की चीजें हैं. एक ये है कि आपको अकल जहन में आपको चीज समझ आ जाए कि चाय कैसे बनती है, اور پھر آپ اٹھ کے چائے بناتے ہیں. تو چائے بنانا جو ہے وہ ریئلزم ہے, اور چائے کا بنانا سمجھنا جو ہے وہ ریشنلزم ہے. تو یہ جو ابھی ہم نے بات چیت کی, تو یہ آپ کا عقل تھوڑا سا دماغ میں سمجھ آ گئی کہ 9/11 اور جی افغانستان, یو ایس اے, پاکستان, یہ وہ سارا. اب اس چیز کو ایگزامینر کو کیسے پہنچانا ہے, اس کے لیے آپ کو نوٹس پڑھنے ہوں گے, نوٹس کی لینگویج پڑھنی ہوگی, ادھر سے نالج لینا ہوگا, لکھنا ہوگا, خود بولنا ہوگا سیف 2 میں. پھر آپ 9/11 پہ اور وار آن ٹیرر پہ آپ بول سکو گے. Changing regional dynamics have shifted Pakistan from geopolitics to geo-economic, but from bloc politics. Is it in favor of Pakistan? ایک گرامر جنرل ٹھیک لکھا کرتا ہے کہ سمجھ آ جائے کہ آپ کا کوشچن کیا ہے. پہلا پارٹ تو مجھے سمجھ آیا. یس, previously Pakistan was very important geopolitically. جیو کا مطلب ہے لینڈ, زمین. پالیٹکس کا مطلب ہے سیاست. ٹھیک ہے, تو سیاسی طور پر ہماری سرزمین جو تھی وہ بہت اچھی تھی, بہت مفید تھی. اٹ ہیڈ اے لاٹ آف یوٹیلیٹی جیو پولیٹیکلی, کیونکہ پاکستان از دا نیبر آف چائنا, ایران, افغانستان, انڈیا. تو ہم پالیٹکس کہتے رہے, سیاست کہتے رہے. اب جو ہے چونکہ سیاست ختم ہو گئی, اور دوبارہ اگر یو ایس اے افغانستان آتا ہے تو پھر ہم سیاسی طور پر امپورٹنٹ ہو جائیں گے. فی الحال یو ایس اے چلا گیا وہاں سے, تو ہم اب کیا کریں؟ جیو اکنامکس. ہماری جو زمین ہے, جو جیو ہے, اس کو ہم یوز کریں کس چیز کے لیے؟ اکنامکس کے لیے. اکنامک کوریڈور, کہ پاکستان جو ہے یہ انرجی ہب بن جائے. مڈل ایسٹ سے, سینٹرل ایشیا سے انرجی آئے, گوادر کے تھرو چائنا جائے, انڈیا جائے, ایران, پاکستان, انڈیا پائپ لائن, ٹیپی, ترکمانستان, افغانستان, پاکستان, انڈیا پائپ لائن. تو پاکستان کے تھرو یہ پائپ لائن جائے, انرجی جائے, ٹریڈ ہو, گوادر کا پورٹ استعمال ہو, ٹھیک ہے, ٹرانزٹ ٹریڈ ہو, انڈیا سے چیزیں افغانستان جائے, سینٹرل ایشیا جائے پاکستان کے تھرو, سینٹرل ایشیا اور افغانستان سے چیزیں انڈیا کو پاکستان کے تھرو جائے, پاکستان کی زمین کو استعمال کرے. سو دس از جیو اکنامکس. بلاک پالیٹکس, to be in Western bloc, Eastern bloc, Russian bloc, Chinese bloc, American bloc. So that is not in the interest of Pakistan. Non-alignment. We should not be part of any bloc. Our national interest should be supreme. Whatever is nationally important for Pakistan, we should go for it. اگر رشیا ہمیں سستا تیل دیتا ہے تو ہم رشیا سے کیوں نہ لیں؟ ہمیں سستا تیل اس لیے مل رہا ہے کہ ہم اس لیے نہ لیں کہ امریکہ ناراض ہوگا. ایران سے ہم گیس کیوں نہ لیں؟ اگر ہمیں اچھا گیس اور اچھی انرجی وہاں سے ملتی ہے تو ہم کیوں نہ لیں؟ انڈیا لے رہا ہے, سارے لوگ لے رہے ہیں, تو ہم کیوں ڈرتے ہیں؟ تو جب ہم بلاک سے نکلتے ہیں, سو دین دیٹ از کالڈ نان الائنمنٹ, کہ ہم کسی کے ساتھ الائن نہیں ہے, کسی کے ساتھ لگے نہیں ہیں. ہم ہر کسی کی یار ہے, جہاں سے ہمیں فائدہ ملتا ہے ہم ادھر جاتے ہیں. دس از کالڈ نیشنل انٹرسٹ, اور دس از ریئلزم. یہ ریئلزم ہے. ناؤ ریمبر دیٹ ریئلزم از ناٹ moral, because there is no morality in realism. Realism is amoral. It doesn't mean that realism is immoral. Immoral, I-M-M-O-R-A-L, immoral کا مطلب ہے غیر اخلاقی. amoral کا یہ ہے کہ اخلاق سے میرا کوئی لینا دینا نہیں ہے, نیوٹرل. amoral. So sometimes even realism is immoral, but mostly it is amoral. A-M-O-R-A-L. اس میں اپنے اخلاق نہیں دیکھنے, جی میں نے زبان دی ہے تو امریکہ کے ساتھ میں نے یہ کیا ہے تو وہ کیا ہے تو امریکہ ناراض ہو جائے گا, ہمارا دوست ہے, چائنا ہمارا دوست ہے تو ہم ایسے کوئی کام نہ کریں جو چائنا ناراض ہو جائے. تو یہ اخلاقی باتیں ہیں. ریئلزم میں یہ باتیں نہیں چلتی. جہاں سے آپ کا فائدہ ہے ادھر سے وہ چیز اٹھاؤ, دنیا میں سب سے کامیاب انسان جو ہے وہ کون ہے؟ سیلفش، خود غرض انسان جو ہے وہ کامیاب ہوتا ہے. So all the best, good night, take care.